Good morning, guten Tag to everyone in the online world. I'll wait for a couple of minutes and I'll give you the code for today. That is the pause. And kindly look into it and accordingly code the stuff. Um, the weather here is, I'll give that data set afterwards. That is not important right now. So we'll just wait for a couple of minutes before we start. I'll just put myself on mute. Okay, um, first and foremost, I was looking into the landscape of the gaming as a service, that is gas. So this is not GAS, it is GAAS, gas as a service. Um, Although, when we talk about Ethereum as a coin or as a crypto stuff, many a times the gas fees increases, decreases, blah 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 blah. Um, at the end of the day, it is how you are utilizing Ethereum as such. Because, see, end of the day, it's just a code. So we have to replace gas fees, which is GAS, gas fees with gas, that is game as a service. The first thing which rings to a gamer, apart from the old school games which we used to play, Ludo, snakes and ladders, cards, because when you are playing with probability, the probability equations with cards, Ludo, snakes and ladders is not much. You cannot turn the table as such. I'm not getting into the poker part because that is gambling. I'm here to discuss about gas as a service, where G is game. And I was just going through the data sets, I was looking into the patenting landscape, and to create that core data set of gaming, which is nothing to do with betting, it is pure intelligence. Because game itself can be of two types, betting and non-betting. When I talk about the landscape of India, we have to go to the non-betting part, because betting doesn't help individuals to learn and upskill. So this is to be utilized for the upscaling. Even if this, whatever I'm going to talk about, is being used or will be used for betting, the way the coders have already coded is that will equal to null and void, and there's nothing much one can do with null and void, because you just have to use 4 times F, which is equivalent to the hue or the color combinations. Now, when I talk about gaming, there's something called as Xbox. For the longest time, so it was with Microsoft. However, a lot has been built over that framework, and a lot can be just built around it, because end of the day, how the sensor is learning the skill set is the question you need to answer. Yesterday I was at Nelson Mandela Road, which is one of the VVIP areas in New Delhi, quite. It's not central, but it is near Aerocity, probably in the vicinity of 7 kilometers from Aerocity. If I just have to talk about that. So there was a game. So this brand, um, okay, this brand Tyro, which is beauty brand, they had organized it. I played 2 rounds. It was to collect stamps. There were 30 stamps. I don't know how many seconds were given, but first round I was able to do 24. Second round I was able to do 22. So I at one point of time used to be very active on Xbox when internet was still a dream in terms of playing with players across nations. Um, but the point of contention here is when we are upscaling and building something which is GaaS, that is game as a service, that is part of the Impula network which we have already developed. So this is basically a use case study. um, I'm still in the process of writing it. That will be published in one of the papers very soon. One can go through it, and because when we are utilizing that sensor itself can be utilized for energy harvesting also. Perhaps harvesting as a service is nothing to do with crops and seeds. This harvesting which I have been talking about, which is HAS, harvesting as a service, it is to harvest the energy from the nature. And that particularly is to take one's cognitive ability to the next level, because right now at least most of the folks, they are, if I have to forget about children, adults, seniors, most of them come under the category or the bucket of being dumb. Dumb is DUMB, and let me tell you, they are really dumb. And it's very difficult to work with dumb folks, and the reason for it is parenting in India is not taught, and these kiddos who are trying to be deployed or employed in any of the enterprises, companies, trainees, they have lost it altogether. I mean, when we were struggling to make a mark, we at least knew that we have to be rigorous, we have to think out of the box. We were tuned or kind to that process, whereby we were able to just maneuver and do stuff. So there are two stuff which you need to concentrate. One is game as a service, and second is harvesting as a service, where the harvesting is the energy harvesting, which is the nature. If you can hear right now, there's a lot of honking, and this is Delhi. I can't even talk about NCR. In Delhi also, people have forgotten how to ride these vehicles, these whatever is plying on these roads. You go to NCR, oh my gosh, it's chaos of another order altogether. Right now, the stakeholders need to come together and try to halt this. How they will halt is the question they need to answer, because they are being paid for it. Otherwise, why are they taking taxpayers' money? Then we don't need so many ministries who are doing nothing. We are at a dead end in terms of the ministerial funds. If you go to the websites and if somebody is actually able to see what is left with India in terms of government funding, it is negligible, because money was openly given to startup, or in the name of startup, MSMEs and this and that. When you give free money, this is what happens. And yeah, for the very first time, forget about independence. Although we are India at 79, but if you see the reserve, you will be surprised. Just ask any government employee whether they are in a situation where they can get things done. And this has to be done without corruption. We cannot have a corruption has to end, because it's very evident what is happening at the justice level. So a lot of answered questions have been answered right now. So Only a little bit is left in terms of unanswered questions, for which the answer is nature. I mean, nature is the biggest blockchain. We are all seeing what has been happening, particularly this year, which on the timeline is 2025. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, send me a DM on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn itself is pronounced differently by different people. So it's LinkedIn, whatever it's. Have a great day ahead. And this is supposed to be a weekend today. Thank you.